All right. I'd like to start this meeting for the City of Brisbane Park and Recreation on February 26th at 6:30, and let's have a call to order. Roll call.
Covino present.
Marmion present.
Ocampo present.
Boggs present.
Oligoff present.
All right. Do we have someone who will give a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
Second?
I second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval, do I have someone to approve the minutes?
I'll move that we approve the minutes of January 8th.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And do we have any citizens' communications? Everybody don't jump up at once. All right, none. No presentations this evening. And so we're going to move right on to old business. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is the facility rental fee. And we have an attachment for that and the analysis. And I'm going to let Noreen talk about it.
I'm actually going to let Steve talk about it. But before I do, this is just a carryover from our last commission meeting. We presented some information to the commission regarding facility rental fees in looking through our master fee schedule and making proposed changes for the upcoming 2 fiscal years, particularly in reference to the inconsistencies that exist between our facility rental fees for Mission Blue Community Center and the Community Park Gazebo. As well as kind of an analysis of what we've been experiencing over the last several years with regards to the number of rentals and revenue generated, as well as kind of a comparison of other similar facilities in neighboring agencies and how they compare, as well as some information about the non-resident surcharge that we charge for rental fees and the inconsistencies that exist even amongst our own fees and what we're charging for non-resident rates. So the bulk of the staff report is the same as what we provided to you at the previous commission meeting. Steve conducted some initial analysis of historical information regarding rental fees, and so I'll let him talk a little bit about that. And then what we're looking for the commission to do tonight is to make a recommendation to City Council to either leave the fees as they currently stand or to modify them either up or down, depending on the desire of the commission. So I'll hand it over to Steve.
Hello, everybody. So, yeah, last time we went over the fees and the first, 5 pages of the attachment, and Kevin, I think, specifically asked, what kind of effect it would have if we lowered the fees. And so instead of just going back and taking rentals for the last year or two and applying a different rate, I just went back and just looked at our numbers, because it's been kind of known that we haven't been as busy as we used to be in past years. Several years ago, we're not having as much, and I tried to go back and go through our permit system and actually find out when that was. I know we, as you can see on the attachment number 2, it was July 1, the new fiscal year of 2013-14, that our rates pretty much almost doubled in every respect. And then it kind of stayed for about that year. The previous year we had 55 rentals with a total of about 81,000 in revenue. And then it kind of went to 70, and then it went down to about 40, and then for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 fiscal years, we're averaging about 42,000 a year in revenue on basically half as many rentals. So the room's not being booked as often. I don't think I would much rather do. If we could get back up to people generally keep the party around, $2,000 for a price for a total. Some do a lot more. If it's a big wedding or a big party, they might, especially with the rate we have now. But if you, I should have done the average per rental, but it hasn't changed too much. It's just people are either doing shorter parties, doing half the room, trying to keep it around. I mean, you don't want to spend. People don't want to spend so much to do for, especially things that are just like maybe a smaller birthday party, a baby shower, or something that's not a huge elaborate event that you're planning for. Yeah, so if you look at the fees from 2013, that was, I mean, we were pretty busy at that time, 55 rentals a year, and now we're pretty much averaging about 22 to 25 rentals a year the last 5 years. Paid rentals. That's the other thing too. We do have so many co-sponsored and community events that we give the room away, and then when we do have parties, we're just asking residents to pay just this exorbitant fee. Kind of, I don't know. Doesn't make too much sense to me. Yes.
How many total weekends a month or Saturdays a month do we rent, or year, I'm sorry, do we rent out Mission Blue, for instance? Do you know? With resident, non-resident, and organizations?
We did that before. I mean, the average, those 22, that's the paid. We're also averaging probably about more than that in events and stuff, city-sponsored events, probably another 25 to 30, but that includes some weekdays for rehearsals and stuff.
Okay. I just wonder how many Saturdays are left.
Okay, so in 2019, yeah, I did that. For 2019, this is the calendar year for 2019. We had 18 Saturdays booked, 7 Sundays, 3 Fridays, and 2 weekdays. Those were all paid. Everything else was unpaid.
But how many do we have left to rent out? If we lowered the rate, let's just say we double the use, do we have that many weekends free to still?
For the year.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're averaging maybe 2 a month.
Okay.
So we got about 2 free weekends a month.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
It depends on the month, too. Like May is big with the BDW performances. Graduations. So first 2 weeks of June. But then
Nice.
there's not really.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 to 3 weekends every month that aren't being booked.
Very cool.
Or just about everyone.
I mean, that would be helpful, it seems, then, to get those weekends booked.
Do you recommend we go back to 2014?
Well, if you look back at the comparison, it's got the green chart, attachment 1. So those are the current fees for all the other local municipal buildings. They're averaging about $171 an hour for the residents, $214 for non-resident. So that's about our $213 rate, and then our recommended fee was it's still more than that. I mean, we're looking at about, for a full facility, $225 for residents, $281.
Well, so you
Yeah.
recommended the page that says example proposed adjusted hourly rental fees?
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
didn't know how it would go over to go so drastically far back, so I tried to keep it just right around, maybe a little bit more than the average rate of what's going around. It's still, I mean, for our rate right now, if you take a look at the green page again, it would be cheaper for Brisbane residents to go to go everywhere. Any other room, any other facility in the peninsula would be cheaper for them than to paying the non-resident rate than paying the resident rate here in Brisbane.
Oh, right.
So, and then a lot of places have other fees that we don't tack on. It's something we could also, I haven't really addressed that, but a lot of people have an alcohol fee. An application fee. I mean, the alcohol fee would come in handy just because those tend to be bigger parties that make bigger mess sometimes.
I see they charge for kitchen, too.
Yeah, that's usually like a big industrial kitchen.
Oh, okay. Not our little one.
Yeah. And then some places charge custodial. Some it's really minor, $25. Some it's $140. I think that's probably, they just tack it on.
Any other questions? Do you need us to decide, like, for instance, if we were good with what you've proposed, but think that we should tack on extra fees, do you need us to do that tonight? Okay. So does anybody have any feedback on that?
From my perspective, I think the prices that we're charging for an hourly rate are good as they are without adding, without adding any fees. I think the adjustment we're going to make is for 2 fiscal budget years. So 2021, 21, 22. Yeah. Based on the significant decline we've had in the last couple of years, right, from the where it was at, I think it's would behoove us to lower the prices, to increase the use of the facilities, and then assess maybe in a couple of years if additional fees are needed. I think the rates that we are charging are comparable, like Steve has put together. That will also encourage those people not to leave Brisbane for their party, but to stay in town to their parties. And also potentially give it the opportunity for all the free weekends that are there, because we're not renting out enough to have more opportunities in their own town. Looking at the proposed fees, I'm comfortable with what's being proposed and the rates that we're having now. It's my feedback.
I think that it's fair. I mean, I feel like I agree that we don't need to add extra fees on. I think it's kind of frustrating personally when you have to pay a fee to apply for something.
Right.
So that would deter me from wanting to even try. So yeah, do we have any other questions about?
If I may, through the chair, I like the decrease of the rate also. In fact, it wouldn't be bad if they even lowered it a little bit more, just to be comparable with, these other ones that you can go out of Brisbane to rent. They're still a little high. But the concern, and with all due respect to nonprofits, but sometimes when they are there all weekend and somebody else wants to come rent, they can't. I've always said something about having just a flat fee for nonprofits, just to cover staff, some staffing that they have. Even if it was just $100, that's just my suggestion.
Anybody else?
No, I like this.
Is it something that you want to make a motion, or you want to talk about more about having a fee for nonprofits?
I want to make a motion that we recommend the proposed adjusted hourly rates, the decrease in rates with standardizing the non-resident surcharge to 25%. I make a proposal for that, to accept that recommendation to the City Council.
I second.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the proposed fees as they are right now for the next 2 fiscal years?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Nay.
If the commission would like, we can always agendize the topic of fees for nonprofits for a future commission meeting and provide additional information to the commission to have that conversation more in depth than we are prepared to do so tonight.
I would agree. We should do that. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Then, we answered that question then, right? Okay.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
I think we got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, well then, we're going to move on to master fee schedule and the budget. And there's also an attachment for that. And thank you, Noreen, for getting us a more detailed
Sure.
budget to look at.
Sure. So the master fee schedule that you have in front of you has several red notations and lines on it, and that is just the feedback from staff and the changes that are being proposed with a 2-year increase year after year, and then highlights to specific facility rental fees that we hadn't settled on quite yet. So that's what you're looking at as far as the master fee schedule is concerned. And then the budget looks different than the budget that we provided to the commission at the last meeting. This is more specifically a line item budget that goes through each of our budget programs, including co-sponsorships, administration, youth, seniors, teens, pool, special events, etc. And you'll note in there that there are red notations, which are usually changes or exclusions from past budgets. The blue indicates, let me backtrack real quick. So from the current fiscal year to the upcoming 2 fiscal years, there's a 2% increase year after year. If an item is noted or highlighted in blue, that is because it is either more or less than the standard 2% to call attention to it, and we can provide additional justification for that. If an item is highlighted in yellow, that's because it's being included, it's a recommendation from staff to be included as a new item. We're not talking about CIPs, larger ticket items as part of this budget conversation. We do that on the alternating years. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the budget, and upon conclusion of the conversation, if the commission has any recommendations that they would like for staff to include when we present the budget to council for consideration, you can do so.
All right. Any comments? Oh,
I got some.
I'm ready.
It's just some clarification so I
Sure.
can understand it. On the first one, first page, where? Well, it's probably the third page, where it says 52025 office expenses.
Where are you looking at? Which budget?
5205.
She's
Both
looking.
sponsorships, admin.
Division 7001 PR Administration. That's on the top. It's like the third page in.
Well, under which program budget though? Admin?
Admin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Division 7001.
Okay.
Okay, just for clarification.
Okay.
It says signboards,
Yes.
and it's 8160. That's for paper.
That
Correct?
is. So those expenses reflect the current signboard system
Mm-hmm.
with the paper.
Okay,
We have not folded in the cost of the new e-ink signboards yet because we don't have those figures
Correct.
yet.
so when the new signboards, that will be,
That will be updated.
yes.
Yes.
So then that money will go where? That $8,100.
It will just be modified to reflect the actual cost of operating the e-ink system.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then the next page, which would be under 52055 travel and training, and it says department management for 2021 and 2022, 24,219 and 19,399. Exactly what does that mean? Department management.
Where are you looking?
Keep going. Yeah.
Down here?
It's under program.
Okay.
Yes, right there.
So this programs you'll find at the bottom of each of the program spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm.
What that is a tabulation of the fees that are included above and then allocated to those respective program budgets.
Okay.
So that's how City Council sees the budget. That's the document that I provided to you before, which breaks out our expenses into these larger buckets. So those are not additional expenses. They're tabulations of the expenses that are listed
Okay.
above.
Okay. That's why I just need some
Yeah,
clarification. 'Cause
sure.
When I look at it, I just want to question. Okay, and then on 52015, equipment maintenance, and it says gas and oil for the recreation van. Only $1,000?
I don't know where you're looking.
Facilities.
Under
Facilities.
facilities?
Facilities.
You're bouncing around. Okay.
Yes.
Under
I'm just
facilities, we're
going from
looking-
page to page.
Oh, vehicle maintenance for our van. Uh-huh.
Yeah, only $1,000. That's for the whole year?
That's just for our vans, yeah.
Oh, really? I don't know. I just thought
We
that
don't
was
drive them
kind
that
of.
much.
I thought that was just kind
Usually
of
just in town.
cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit low because we did get new tires, but
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of gas. That's only gas
I
for.
mean, yeah, they only go in town.
Cool.
Okay, well,
So, question on that, staying in that same section,
Yes,
the increase for the janitorial supplies for
Yes.
BES, a threefold increase from 500 to 1,500.
That was the one where we
Yes.
was an unrealistic number.
yeah, we felt that the calculation that was there was not really reflective of the actual service
Okay.
being conducted at that site. Because that's our child care facility, which is heavily used. So
Okay.
there's a note there. You can see.
My-
There's no
my
way.
professional
There's
note.
no way.
Anyone else?
wait, I'm just rechecking. I had some question marks. Oh, okay. Under division, this is the PR adult.
Adults.
In it's professional services. It's the collective camp, and it's 20,020. Is that what we pay out
That's correct.
for the instructor?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to verify.
Yes.
This is very thorough.
Yeah, it is. I bet there was just. I think that was it. Yeah,
Ask and you shall receive.
wasn't that much, but I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
So under PR facilities, 52030, professional services.
Yes.
Again, the janitorial seems to be a common theme of being underquoted, right? That the same situation there, that the fees that we maybe have been paying for janitorial services at those facilities was under allocated?
No. So the current year reflects our current contract. But we, starting March 1st, are going to be utilizing a new vendor at the pool for janitorial service, and it will be kind of on a trial basis to assess how thorough they are and how satisfied we are with their services. And if so, then we're looking to expand their services to our other recreational facilities and move on from the current vendor. And so the allocation that you see there reflects a 35% increase, I think it's 35, for a potential new janitorial service provider.
Okay. Keeping in that same area, Here Comes the Guide is a new addition.
Yes. So this used to be part of our budget. We took it out a couple years ago, but it's a promotional opportunity to market Mission Blue as a rental facility. And so our strategy there was that if we're going to decrease rental fees to try and accumulate more rentals, that we would do some additional marketing. And so that's why we put the funds there.
Okay. And then the new section, 53010 improvements seems to be all a new section.
Yeah, so those are all of our new asks for the upcoming budget, and they're all one-time expenses. So you'll see that they're not reflected in 2021, 2022. And you'll see the same thing. There's a large list of asks under our youth budget. The majority of these are a direct result of the new child care modular at BES and furnishing that new facility. Again, those are one-time expenses that we're asking.
Are the batting cages real batting cages? Like with the pitching machines, and
Yes,
are
that's
they going to be both baseball and softball?
I believe that's the goal. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, because we have Academy of Art that uses Mission Blue Field as their home field.
Right.
So they're invested in that.
And will that be like a pay thing where you put the money in the little thing and it'll turn on?
I don't
No?
think so. No.
Yeah, there's no money.
No. But looking to upgrade the existing batting cages that we have out there because they're in need of some love.
But if they were like made with a chain link fence and kind of had a lock on it, I'm pretty sure that there would be rental opportunities because
Yeah.
people that are into youth baseball, youth softball, they have their own pitching machines and they're looking for a space to do it.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, I think that's great. Yeah.
Division the PR teens under 52045. There's an increase in the supplies, dance, and my only comment on there is that the increase is there because an increase in the yak and involvement with the teens.
Yeah, they're doing more.
Yeah, that's great to see. Then that's a welcomed change, I think, for me. So it's good to see.
Bonnie, you'll notice we finally took off the Monte Carlo night.
I saw that. That was fun. It was fun.
It's been a while since we had one.
Yeah, but it was fun when we had it.
Yeah, we haven't had that for years.
Anything else? Anyone else?
Mm.
All right. What do we need to do now? Do you want us to make a motion that we accept this, or?
Yeah.
All right. Can we have a motion to accept this budget?
I make a motion we accept this budget.
Second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. It's passed. We accept the budget.
Yay. Now we would just wait on council accepting the budget.
Oh, there you go. And we recommend that to the.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on then to new business, and that is that we are being asked to recommend sending this Crocker Trail plan on, and I'm going to open it up to the subcommittee on that to talk to us about it.
So I'll just give a quick overview if that's okay. For those commissioners that might not be as familiar with the project, a couple years ago, Kevin Fryer was designated as our commission representative to sit on the subcommittee for the sale of 280 South Hill proceeds, along with an open space and ecology committee member. And it was decided that the funds that were to be used as a result of that sale should be allocated towards projects that benefit both Parks and Recreation Commission as well as the Open Space and Ecology. And so they met and decided to allocate a portion of those funds, not to exceed $100,000, towards the master planning of Crocker Park Trail. And the City Council affirmed their support for the project as part of the CIP process. And then in January this year, we issued the formal request for proposals to prospective bidders and received 8 responsive proposals back, which was really great. And it was really nice to see that there was a significant amount of enthusiasm for the project from those that are professionals in the area. A selection committee was formed, comprised of the Trails Subcommittee from Park and Rec Commission, as well as 2 representatives from Open Space and Ecology and 1 representative from the Public Art Advisory Committee. And the selection committee had an opportunity to review all 8 proposals and then come and provide feedback, ask questions, and then ultimately give their ranking of the proposals and determine whether or not it was necessary to conduct professional interviews with top candidates or to just make a recommendation on one candidate to proceed to City Council. And so based on their rankings, it was determined that there was one clear-cut consultant that they were willing to recommend to City Council. And so Now we're bringing it to the commission for your review, and happy to answer any questions that you might have, but then ultimately looking for the commission to recommend to City Council to proceed with awarding the formal bid.
All right. Renee, you want to talk to us?
I'm going to let Lyle start it out.
All right.
She's so eloquent.
Sure. So as Noreen had mentioned, we met, before then we had homework to review all 8 proposals and to ask our questions, look over the documents, and come with where we thought the proposals were at. After doing that, all of us did our homework. It was a relatively quick and orderly, efficient meeting. We talked about different things, and the important thing is that as the variety of the committees were, open ecology, arts, and park and rec, we all looked through different lenses about how we viewed the proposals. Some of us were looking at, from my perspective, I looked at some of the things the trail might provide for recreational facilities, and how it might improve the recreation for Brisbane. Some geared towards the art, but that wasn't my main focus lens. And it helped in helping in do that. Looking through the proposals, we tried to articulate which of the consultants took the ideas and the impetus for the proposal to incorporate park recreation facilities, activities, open space and ecology activities, things that open space as well as the art. And in doing so, we came up with a proposal. We found RRM to meet all the criteria of looking at all 3 of those things. We looked at the variety of their experience, both with different communities around California, their longevity. Also looked at, did they have the workload and power to do the job we need them to do? And also looked at the timeliness of how long it would take to complete master plan. So a lot of factors going in, and we came up with a recommendation for RRM based upon all that.
And I'll piggyback on that everyone on the committee, this was basically their first choice. So through the criteria that we covered. And as you can see, the picture that is here, that is the tunnel. Right. That would be connecting over to the Baylands. And these people actually did come out and walk the trail. So they really experienced it firsthand, which we thought was pretty impressive. And they did a diagram on here too. They knew what they were talking about. So we hope that you will recommend this with us.
Just to further on as well, though, in regards of the the master plan's going to involve a lot of the community, and their approach and proposal of how they're plan to gather the community's feedback is very important in their way of about doing that. Again, they're understanding that this is a community park. It's for the community. It's the trail, the Crocker Park Trail is the community's, and how do we own it? So helping us to think about ideas for that and incorporating the ideas. The fact that they did come out, they walked it, they spent time in Brisbane understanding it, a good sense of who we are as a Brisbane community. Again, is another reason we lean towards this consultant.
Will they be working then with the committee on a regular basis as they go through the process of meeting with the community? And that's awesome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their process is outlined in their proposal, but you can see that in addition to having several different platforms for engaging the community, they'll also be engaged with the commission, with the Open Space and Ecology Committee. I think if I remember correctly, it's hard to decipher between all 8 and who said they were going to do what, but I believe they were going to establish like a task force of those key stakeholders that would be more heavily involved, but at some point they will be engaged with the whole commission and come and present their findings throughout their process. If I remember correctly, I think the selection committee also appreciated their timeline for the scope of work and highlighting that their process through the master planning project could be completed by the end of the year, and I think there was even like a couple month buffer. So if everything aligned, that it was a fairly rapidly progressing process, which the selection committee appreciated.
It was very impressive. The qualifications of the people, the projects that we worked on, proposals that they provided, or at least the information about how they want to work with the community and liaison. I really was impressed, so I appreciate all your hard work. That's really great that you guys took that time. Thank you. Any other questions?
I don't have any questions. I just think that it's exciting to see this come about. I mean, we've talked about this for how long?
2007 is when we first, Randy Rommel, he was on the commission then, and that's when they had those guys came in and took the railroad ties out, and we all got the spikes.
Right.
Oh, cool.
The painted spikes. That was 2007. So yes, this is really exciting to see this
Right.
materializing even farther. Yeah.
It is. Anyone else?
No.
Well, then, I think that it's up to us to make a motion then to accept this as the proposal, and then we can bring that to City Council. Anybody?
So-
I recommend that we accept this proposal.
Second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. Let's send this on.
Yay.
Good job. 2007. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Things
See it
move
through.
slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I really want to see this done so what my one little friend can go on it in her wheelchair.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, then we're moving on to reports. I have no report. Subcommittees. Do we have any subcommittee reports?
Natalie, we worked on the concerts. You took notes. Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, anyway, we pretty much picked out the groups that we're going to have for concerts in the park. It's depending on how much money we have and how many we could do. So far, I think there's 5 with the Lions doing the one that they always do. So I think that's where we stand.
Yeah. All right.
And we also had the meeting for the habitat restoration, and we planned everything out for the year. And I'm just trying to look. I think the next one that's coming up, well, Earth Day is Saturday, April 18th, and it's going to be at Monarch and Mission, Heath the Ridge. That's going to be I believe it's a planting day. No? Do you remember, Bonnie? Was that the planting or the cleanup?
I
'Cause
think
we do
it's
have
cleanup.
Is planting more like in November?
Yeah. And then it's Saturday, June 13th. It will be the Trinity Trail. Sorry, I should have had these all written down. I'm just now going through the whole calendar. There was one in November. But I know we're going to be doing Firth Park too. That's going to be a big cleanup.
Good.
Yes.
When they often the lagoon cleanup day, which isn't always now lagoon cleanup, the Lions had been doing the cooking for the lunch. I guess Lion Joe asked me to just verify that you guys still want us to, because I guess there were only 13 people there last year,
Oh,
and he had like 100
yeah,
burgers worth of food.
yeah.
So, I mean, and it's okay if you still do. Maybe there's a way to find out a little.
We didn't talk about the lagoon at this time. We were just doing more of that habitat and cleanups and planting. And I know there's going to be a coastal cleanup September 26th.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you find out
Yeah.
by any,
Do you have it down?
whenever, last year they didn't do the lagoon cleanup per se, they called it something
They
else.
did
but-
coastal cleanup instead.
That-
So they still did the
Yeah.
thing there though.
Yeah, so we can have Jeff follow up with the
Okay, cool.
Lions Club just to confirm.
Awesome.
Yeah, and this
Thank you.
coastal cleanup will be on Harney Way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. All right. Any other subcommittee reports?
It isn't a subcommittee, but we met on the design for the skateport wall there. And we should have it by April 8th meeting that we'll have a final, that we'll present to the commission.
Oh, cool.
So we have it pretty well down. We just fine tune it a little bit and then it'll be fine.
All right. Anything else? All right, then we should set our subcommittee meetings. Let's see. I'm just going to go down the list. Do we need to set anything for Derby Day in the park?
A little early, I think.
Okay. Beautification. You're the only.
We did meet. We did talk about Bayshore Boulevard, the entrance coming into town, all the dead plants and stuff there, and redoing that, all four of the corners, and just really specific areas. The next meeting, we didn't finalize that one, the next meeting, and I guess we're going to figure out who's really going to be doing all this. What landscapers and the fees, because one of the big talks was about weeding. How many times a year should they weed, or times a month, or etc. So the beautification is still working on this. So maybe we'll have a meeting within the next month or so.
All right. Cool. Concerts in the park. You guys just.
I think we have to meet again, but I don't know when.
We can follow up with Jeff.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Events.
Do we meet again for Luna Fest?
Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
At 3:00.
Oh. Did I not know this?
I don't know.
Didn't we?
We
plan
said it at the last
meeting?
meeting.
Yeah.
We
Really?
I anticipate that we will likely need an events subcommittee meeting in the near future, but not until after our April meeting.
Okay.
So I think we can hold off till then.
Okay. Festival of Lights.
No.
No, too soon.
It's a little early. Habitat Restoration Day. Is that what we were just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that in my calendar.
Public art.
You guys just met this week,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Okay. Recreation programs.
No.
Nope. Okay. Facilities.
I'd like to meet. You brought up the idea about the batting cages and stuff. I'd like to revisit some of the facilities. So it'd be good to meet if we could meet sometime between now and next month.
Okay. We actually had an item come up recently amongst staff regarding the sand at the playground. So that would be another good
Okay.
topic for the rec facilities subcommittee. So
Okay.
what works for your schedules?
Before April, you mean?
Okay.
Because next month is like in 2 days, right? I am out of town pretty much the first week of March. I could meet the second week of March on Thursday or Friday, the 12th or 13th, and then I could meet on the 16th or the 17th. I'm out of town again after that for a little while. And then I'm back on the 24th. I could meet, or the 25th or the 26th.
You're available 25th?
of March?
Yes.
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 Okay.
25th of March.
All right.
Okay, what time?
It'll be lighter, a little bit later. I mean, I can meet. I'm really flexible. So what's yours?
Can we say 5:30?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. And where are we meeting? Are we going to meet up at Mission Blue?
Let's meet here, and then we can all hop in the van and go off-site.
Okay.
Yeah, use that gas.
March 25th at 5:30.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
All right. Seniors.
We're doing fine. We picked up 2 new members today for the senior club, so
All right.
we're doing really well.
Yes.
And Steve barbecued for us today.
Oh,
Oh, you should
excellent.
I should have worn my chef jacket.
He came in with his chef jacket today. That was so great.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, teen services. Good job cooking there.
Excited.
Yeah, they came last month to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
But it might be good to have the commission and the YAC actually sit down together. I know we've been trying to do that for a while, so maybe Tricia can connect with Ricardo to find out when their next meeting is, and we can invite the subcommittee to attend.
Cool. And then trails development.
Well, we just
Just
We
voted
just-
on it.
we just did a
developed
We
it.
motion.
will need to meet again, but not until after it goes to council.
What about the South Hill? It was Kevin. Does someone else have to take his place?
Not at this point. When
Okay.
we have new commissioners come on board, we'll do a reassignment of the subcommittees.
Okay.
And we'll identify somebody at that time.
All right. And that's it on the subcommittees. And reports from commissioners.
I got a phone call from a citizen about the dog park and the condition and wanted to know what's going on. And I guess that they're talking about the turf. So I don't know what the update.
Did they have a specific question or
What's going on?
in reference?
So I said, we kind of
Well, the commission reviewed it. It was an agendized item at our last meeting, and the
We made a
commission made a recommendation. And Steve and myself walked the dog park last week with Public Works staff to determine the layout being proposed for the future surfacing of the dog park. And so we are currently in the process of collecting quotes for the estimate of costs based on the resurfacing. And then it will likely, the full proposal will likely go to City Council for approval.
Well, that's why I didn't know exactly if it did go to city council, so my response was, we made a recommendation. If you would like, maybe you should go to the city council meetings and tell them your concern or give them your input.
But we are making progress, and it is still rolling forward.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm just reporting back.
thank you.
Excellent. Anyone else? All right. Staff?
I have a couple of program reports, just some of our spring registrations. The spring preschool session begins on March 10th, and we still have openings. So I think we have most of the people that were in the previous session re-signed up. So I don't know if we're going to get any new people in until the next school year, but we'll see. Spring camp, I looked at the numbers today. I didn't even realize that we were already full in week 2 with a wait list. Wow. And week 1, there's 2 spots left. So spring camp is a go. And summer camp, which we opened up on January 17th, which doesn't start till the week after school gets out in June. We are averaging about 20 enrollments right now. In each week out of 50, we're taking 50 kids. They're doing a new camp this year. They're breaking the kids up. So they're going to have a 4.5-year-old to 7.5-year-old camp, and a 7.5 above to 11. So they'll be together, but they'll be doing separate things for the age. So I think it'll be a lot more fun for the older kids and the younger kids, because then the older kids always complain that there's too many younger kids. But I think they go on the field trips together, right? They still go on the field trips together, but they'll just have a separate thing. So that's going well, considering how early we opened it up. So we'll probably fill up in all the weeks.
All right. So a question, there was also a lit application for, I guess, Lebanon. Will that also, are those also, the applications, are those still taking place?
I believe so. Sarah is the one who's handling all the LIT stuff, so I haven't really looked too much at that, but I do know that she's been getting applications in, so I do believe there's still openings and they're still accepting applications.
Hold, please.
We see it.
We see it.
Do you see it?
We see
Yeah,
it.
Oh.
we see it now.
But
We
I don't
didn't the
see it up
second
there.
go,
I
but now
don't
we
see
do.
it on the screen, but
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got it here. Is it a picture of the pool maintenance update?
Yeah, weird.
Now we don't see it.
Oh,
Now
now you
we
see
see
it?
it.
So weird. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys get to see it because I brought it for you. You may have already been aware that we had to close the pool for 2 weeks. The closure will end March 1st, and the facility will reopen, due in part to necessary maintenance that needed to take place in the locker rooms. We did a resurfacing of the showers in both locker rooms, as well as updates to the countertops in both restrooms, and then several other kind of smaller projects that city staff have been working on, like restaining of the benches and rust removal and so forth. So you guys are getting the very first sneak peek at the improvements that we're excited about up at the pool. And then for your reference and information, on February 20th, the city notice was officially given that the City of Brisbane would be the lead agency in preparing the environmental impact report for the Brisbane Baylands specific plan. The applicant, which is Baylands Development, previously UPC, is proposing a development of 2,200 residential units and 7 million square feet of commercial space. A summary of the project, as well as all of the information, can be found online. Written comments regarding the scope and contents of the EIR can be sent to John Swicky, who's our Community Development Director, and his information is provided there. All of this information already went out to the public. It's simply here again for your reference and information. It's a 30-day period to provide comments, so that closes on Friday, March 20th, and a scoping meeting to solicit input from public agencies, organizations, or members from the public will be held on Wednesday, March 4th here at City Hall starting at 7 p.m. So there are opportunities to provide input regarding this if you are interested. And then lastly, upcoming events, we have the Cornhole Tournament this Friday night. It's our second one, and today is the deadline to sign up. So for anybody watching or listening at home, if you want to participate, please sign up tonight. 11 teams. Yeah, 11 teams signed up, so it's a fairly good turnout. We're excited about it. And then also upcoming is LunaFest on Saturday, March 28th, and tickets are available, can be purchased online. And that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Do we have any, thank you so much for that. Do we have any written communications? And the commission calendar.
Yeah, so because we decided to meet today to kind of bridge February and March, we're not going to be meeting in March, and the next commission meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 8th.
Okay. All right. And then that seems to be it. So I adjourn this meeting, and the next scheduled meeting is April 8th. Thank you all.
Thank you.